The envelope was heavier than it looked. Cream paper. My name spelled correctly for once. He smiled when I handed it to him, the same practiced smile he'd worn while pinning a plastic badge on Michelle's dress. Product lead. 20 years old, 2 months in. 7 years of my life blinking under chandeliers. He slid a manicured finger under the flap. Paused. I watched his eyes move. Left to right. Then back again, faster. The color drained from his face in stages, like a system failure cascading through circuits. The room kept breathing. Glass clinked. Applause somewhere behind us, celebrating a product that still carried my fingerprints in every invisible place. His jaw trembled. "Tell me you're joking." The words came out wet, uncontrolled. I smiled, the way men smile when they've already won. 7 years ago, I believed this room would be mine. Tonight, it was just evidence. The betrayal didn't begin tonight. Tonight was just the unveiling. It started months earlier, subtle enough to ignore if you wanted peace more than truth. My wife stopped asking about work, stopped pretending to understand. She started staying late at her father's office, helping with restructuring. Her perfume changed. Citrus replaced vanilla. A young scent. Careless. Michelle appeared in meetings without context, sat too close, asked questions she shouldn't have known to ask, quoted my design philosophy like scripture. Her father, my father-in-law, stopped meeting my eyes. Promotions were delayed, praise rerouted, my name erased from slides I'd written. At home, my wife slept like a stranger, phone face down, a new passcode. She flinched when I touched her shoulder, like guilt has a reflex. I told myself it was stress. I told myself family doesn't do this. Then the voucher arrived in my inbox. $10 for your effort. No bonus, no title. Just a smile and applause for someone else. I realized then, betrayal doesn't scream. It whispers, until you lean in close enough to hear the knife slide between your ribs. I didn't confront anyone. I never do. I observed. I pulled server logs at night, hands steady, pulse calm. Michelle's access credentials had been elevated weeks before the official approval. By him, her father, my boss. I checked version histories. My code forked under her name. Commits timestamped during hours she claimed to be shadowing. Phone records came next. Shared plans have patterns. My wife's phone synced to the office Wi-Fi after midnight, repeatedly. I installed nothing. I hacked nothing. I watched. The cameras in the office garage caught them once, just once. Her laugh, his hand on her lower back. The way power bends toward youth when it thinks no one is looking. At home, I smiled, made dinner, asked about her day. She lied beautifully. I sent a patent inquiry to a friend, quiet, off the books. Turns out the core algorithm, the one I designed alone, had been filed under a shell company, his shell company. 7 years of work, redirected, renamed. I printed everything, slowly, methodically, evidence stacked like bricks. I rehearsed nothing, because the truth doesn't need practice. The DNA results arrived on a Tuesday. Not blood, not betrayal of that kind. Corporate lineage, ownership. The product's DNA was mine, undeniable. My digital signature threaded through every function like a spine. I waited. At dinner, my wife mentioned Michelle casually, too casually. Admiration sharpened with something else, envy maybe, or recognition. I asked one question, does your father know? Silence stretched thin. Her eyes dropped, not to the table, to the space where guilt settles. I didn't raise my voice. I slid a single document across the table. She read, her face collapsed inward, like a structure losing support. He'd promised her a future, a stake, a name beside his. I had already sold the patent, 3 weeks ago. She cried, apologized, blamed pressure, blamed ambition. I felt nothing. The storm had already passed through me. All that remained was control. At the launch party, the lights were warm, the applause loud. Michelle beamed like a trophy. He handed me the voucher, smiled for the cameras. I thanked him. Then I gave him the envelope. Inside, proof of IP theft, notice of patent transfer, resignation, and a letter to the board, already sent. The room watched him implode in real time. Sweat broke along his hairline. His hand crushed the paper. He whispered threats, promises, legal words that meant nothing now. Michelle stared at me, confused. I leaned in, soft. You're standing on stolen ground. Security arrived, not for me. The board chair approached him, quiet, lethal. I walked past my wife without looking. She reached for me. I didn't stop.
I left before the music ended. Outside, the night was clean, honest. 7 years reduced to a letter and a choice. I felt lighter than I had in a decade. They lost more than a product tonight. They lost the illusion that power protects betrayal. I didn't win. I exited, and that was enough. Because the most brutal revenge is walking away with nothing left to take.